Fans are singing along with Bryson Stott's walk-up music.
Dominguez kicks the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. And the ball game and the series are over. Home run for Kyle Schwarber. A grand slam for Bryson and the Phillies have the National League Championship.
Welcome back, Chasers, to another edition of the Quit Chasin Podcast. A little cheeky, a little irreverent, and always unqualified. We watch 162 when you're not able to. I'm Alex Kruger. That's Danny Gerb. Danny, say hi to the folks.
Hey, everyone. How you doing tonight, Alex?
I am doing fantastic. How are you doing, Danny?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. It's I feel it's summer. We got there.
It does feel well. Is that because it's been 96 degrees for the last 2-3 weeks, roughly?
Absolutely miserable. No, it's because I have a really cool buddy, Eric and Alexis. They got a house up in the burbs. They've got a cherry in-ground swimming pool.
Ooh.
And they have been doing a annual 4th of July thing the last handful of years. And it is just, summer bottled into a day, and it's awesome.
I love that. That is such a great way to spend July 4th, man. That is perfect.
Absolutely. How was your holiday weekend?
So I had alluded to it last week, but I ended up having a big old house project my holiday weekend. So I came home from work Wednesday, and Kara just looked at me and said those words that every man both loves and dreads, which is like, hey, let's rip up the carpet. So that turned into ripping up the carpet, refinishing the hardwood, and then painting the dining room. But it looks 10,000 times better. So a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but 100% worth it. But I am in need of a break. So
I was gonna make a joke and say it's a PG show, but it's really not.
That is true.
So yeah, hope you ripped up those carpets pretty good, man.
There it is. There it is.
I saw the pictures. It looks good. It looks good.
Right? Like this is the last room in the house that I had to rip up the carpet over. This is a project we've been doing for 3 years.
Yeah,
attaboy. I've gotten all of the bad ideas out of the way, and I was able to just do this room correctly, like a grown-up does when they achieve that grown-up badge. So it felt really good. Like the floor is fantastic. Like no drips in any of the paint, none of that crap. Like did a good job. So I'm very proud of myself.
That's Pickle's favorite rapper, Little Drippy.
Little Drippy.
It's literally, I think that there is a Little Drippy. It's like a kid's rapper.
I don't know where to begin, middle, or end with that. So I'm just going to move on, Danny. I'm going to move on to the week that was. So as all of our fans know, there was one Chicago game left before we got out of the Windy City. Philadelphia 2, Chicago 10. Happy birthday, America. I hope you like crap. It wasn't Sanchez's day. We don't do great on national televised games and really important dates, and Ian Happ smacked 2 3-run shots. I turned it off by the 5th and decided to join my holiday instead. Never thought in my wildest dreams I would curse a Hap, but here we are. That's a J.A. Happ reference. Do you remember J.A. Happ?
Yes, of course I do. Yeah, I'm with you.
Huge fan of J.A. Happ. I remember his debut was so good, and the Patriot News newspaper, which we're going to get to periodicals in a minute, but the Patriot News newspaper's headline was HAPP in red and then Y in white, and I was like, that is exactly what I'm looking for, Patriot.
So I think Happ was the starter at Wrigley during my LeBron stats rant last week, right?
He very well may have been. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, so there we go.
Okay.
Bridging it from episode to episode. We're a continuous show. There's no one-offs here.
I love it. But then we got to go down to Truist Park.
Like
that is
freaking Wire, man.
Whoa, wait. When you say The Wire, do you mean like David Simon's HBO TV show, The Wire?
That's the one I meant. Yeah, we're very episodic that way. See, I saw some stuff.
You just threw me off because I never expected you to know where Wallace is at. But we'll get into that at a later date. Don't throw me off. This is not happening. So we went down to Atlanta, Georgia, to Truist Park. And in game 1, Philadelphia 8, Atlanta 6. We welcomed in our arch nemesis, and Trey Turner did his best Harper impression, smashing a pair of home runs. We fried Atlanta pitcher Max to the tune of 11 hits and 5 earned runs. But this will be the game I remember as the day I decided to detest Marcell Ozuna. The way he pumped his 3-run blast in the 8th and the way he strolled and danced around the bases. while still down 2, mind you. He is my new public enemy number 1 on the Atlanta Braves. So Marcell Ozuna, just so you know, I'm watching you.
You got to have someone, right? Makes the season.
It's got to be that guy. Last Arcia just stepped up to the plate, but now, man, the way that he took way too much pride and way too much time going around the bases, nah. Okay, heard. You want it? You got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the question: do you want me to read it like it's on the agenda, or do you want to talk about this? Right? So we can go one of two ways with it.
When you said that to me, and I saw the gobbledygook that you had written on the page and the incoherent mess that it was, I was like, all right, Danny's clearly passionate about whatever the hell he's trying to say. I'm just going to trust that he knows it and not question it and just be surprised. So how about I read what you wrote and then you say what it's supposed to be, okay?
I don't think you're going to read it with the passion that I wrote it in, but yeah, please.
Well, no, I think the audience needs to be introduced to this the same way I was, okay? So,
all right.
Hold on. All right, so this is Danny's contribution to the first Atlanta Philly game. Fun hot Mike Fransky and chuckles, but now because the way algorithms work, I see that story every 5 minutes, days after you lose the next. 2, check the light, hit the button, be the professional we love you for.
That's exactly right. You got the gist of it. That's exactly right. I would have done a little more pointing with it. I would have probably
I didn't know the inflection points on any words.
I would have went hard on chuckles. Fun hot Mike Fransky and chuckles. I would have done it that way, but whatever.
I didn't know if you were chastising them or commending them, man. That's the joy of the written word.
No, let's put them on blast.
You put something on blast. Maybe the English language, grammar, Mrs. Bush. Like, you failed us.
No, it's fine.
All right.
And it's actually, if you want to read it correctly,
go ahead, please.
I see that story every 5 minutes, day after you loose the next 2.
God, as someone that can't type lose or loose and get it right, I'm not going to hold you against that one. Yeah. But that was fantastic. So to those that aren't aware, at the end of the game, the Apple broadcast was ending, but the Phillies radio broadcast was still playing, and you could hear the public address announcer saying like, "Yay! All right, that was a great game, Atlanta fans, woo!" And you hear chuckles in the booth saying like, "Yeah, fun losing." And Fransky's like, "What a joke." And then it cuts out. So like one of the best hot mic moments since President Bartlett in the West Wing, playing with a 45 caliber gun and a 22 caliber mind. It was phenomenal. It's phenomenal. But to your point, like, all right, let's be some professionals and maybe check the button. You've been doing this a while.
I mean, I love Fransky. Chuckles not so much, but I love Fransky.
Job. I mean, Fransky in LA is the prime, but
and here's the thing: a good hot mic
is great. Absolutely, dude. You love a good hot mic.
I really do. The problem with this hot mic thing is I am now seeing that story days after they, eat it the next 2 games. So it's not quite as fun. The fun was short-lived.
It's true. So on that note, that does take us to our next game and the short-lived fun. Philadelphia 5, Atlanta 1. Braves starting pitcher Spencer Schwellenbach outshined Ranger Suarez. And honestly, we never escaped a first inning 3-run hole. I miss Harper and Schwarber. Because in the next game, Philadelphia 0, Atlanta 6. Mm-hmm. For only the 3rd time this year, the Phillies were shut out. Mercado just didn't have it and gave up 5 runs in 1.2 innings. And our bats had no desire to wake up, with only 2 starters getting a hit, Bohm and Merrifield. Like, I don't know, we got 2 pinch hits? Whatever. I had a home remodel project to finish.
Yeah, and it looks good, Alex. Again, it looks good. Really opens the place up. So, yeah, and you hear a lot of talk of, we're missing some of the big bats. They didn't get swept. That's fine. Playing that 500 baseball, that's all you can ask for the break till the guys come back. And right, though, there's still 6 everyday starters that need to get more than 1 hit in 2 games. That's my complaint about that, and it seems to be overlooked, even though since that game, everyone the radio, television, everyone's starting the Stott pile on. Have you noticed that?
The what? The Stott?
The Bryson Stott piling on him.
Oh shit! So Wankel started a movement.
Yeah, he really did. Like they
Good
said
for you,
it,
Bob.
Yeah, they said it. I mean,
that's the first place I heard anyone actually truly be legitimately critical of Bryson Stott. And to Bob Wankel's point, everyone's always kid gloving him and not holding him accountable when he does have these cold ass streaks like this. So again, I'm gonna give Bob credit where credit's due.
Yeah, and he did like everyone knows we are big fans of the boys at Crossed Up. So they did that slow tease of it, and he finally dropped the full hammer on it on their show they dropped on Monday. And after that, it's been on 97.5.
Oh, damn it,
it's been
Harper.
on WIP. It's been like I see it everywhere now. So I'm glad our boys got it out first. But I mean, I'm not there with it yet. His walks are up. He's already he already has more walks than he had the entire season of last season. That's,
right.
Don't make me point at Pete again. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that 22 World Series was frustrating where, he would have those 12 pitch at bats and then, walk away over for the entire series. But in that lineup, I like a guy who's walking more than he did last season. And I like a guy who's seeing 12 pitches.
And he's not afraid to swipe a bag. I think he's at 21 stolen bases this year. So, again, get on base and then make something happen with it and do a good job defensively. I mean, I don't know. He's still young. He had a really good season last season. Maybe his average is a little bit lower than that. But I don't know.
Even so, the lineup that you're talking about Stott and post deadline, if and when we get that true 4-hole hitter, right? That Jack Fritz argument of that then puts everyone a spot back where they probably should be and would you even notice it?
Right. I mean, that's true because then you get JT at 5. You get Bryson at 6, Nick at 7, or Marsh at 8, and then Rojas / whomever at 9. I mean, yeah, no, that's a good that is the lineup we were supposed to kind of have in a lot of ways. And that's the one we've been waiting on that we haven't been able to enjoy since Trey went down on May the 4th. We haven't had our lineup truly since May the 4th.
Absolutely.
May the 4th not be with you. No, but we still have more games to talk about, dude.
Yeah,
How about this? So the LA Dodgers in the first series at the bank won the Philadelphia Phillies 10. Danny, aren't the Dodgers supposed to be scary? Aren't they supposed to be the best team in the NL and the presumptive favorite to rep the NL in the World Series? And shouldn't this be hard? I don't know. Really hoping I don't eat these words with tonight's outcome. But Harper and Schwarber came back for this game, and Trey once again was the star of the show after he hit a 4th inning grand slam. Now Wheeler left in the 5th due to back tightness, and Harper hurt his hand when the liner smacked it. But we won a game against the Dodgers.
Yeah,
and then
convincingly.
I mean, I loved it.
Yeah,
we did the job. And then the next game, Dodgers 3, Phillies 4. Laugher, dude. Was there ever a doubt? Was there ever a doubt this was going to be a leadoff Schwarber game? We all just kind of felt it, right? Yesterday's game.
I caught up.
Okay, all right. But no, this had moments where we didn't have a commanding grip on the win, but I never really felt like it was too much in danger. I don't know. My favorite part was when Carl Ravitch said at the end of the game, Dodgers win by 1, which was not the case.
Right. I heard that too. It was ridiculous.
I
liked that game. I did like that game. It was a fun game to watch. We'll get to it.
We will. But I don't know. I know underdog narratives are played out, especially when a ton of media members have given us flowers, but there is just something about loving to hate us against traditional blue chip teams like Dodgers, Yankees, Braves, whatever from national broadcast. And that game yesterday, I know we're going to get into it later, but that game yesterday by ESPN was the broadcasting of it was a joke. I thought just the whole content. As folks know, sometimes we do end up recording these things while a game is happening. So in the third and final game of the Dodgers series, the Phillies are currently up 4-1, top of the 8th, 1 out, 2 on. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I have, like that whole who knows where this game ends, but
Yep.
here's my like old man take. And I hate saying this because it's so cliche and it's so old man, but that's a heck of a lineup they got over there in LA.
Yeah.
Those group of guys are a threat.
Yes.
Or can be a threat.
Can be a threat. Yes.
Right. But are those group of guys a threat to our team in the playoffs? It's such an old cliche thing. But, now seeing them 3 or 2.5 games at this point, because we came up to record early, on the same field side by side, there's a different look to them. Like the Phillies look like they're made to go deeper.
Yes.
The Dodgers look like they're made to beat up on an NL West, rack up a nice, win-loss percentage, and there you go. That's what they look like they're built to.
And tell me if I'm wrong, the Braves look like more of a championship contender than the Dodgers. Like after playing them in back-to-back series, the Braves, I don't know, the Dodgers have great players. And you said this to me earlier, and I know this is an old man take, and sometimes we're going to be old men about things, but you're 100% right, man. Like, is it players or is it team? Because I'm going to take team over players every single time.
Yeah, they have a great look. They don't have even the way the Braves played, I don't know. It's just it was like when you saw it 2.5 games in our case on the same field, it just looks different.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's where you need the baseball purists. Let's go to a break, Alex.
Let's go to a break, folks.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Channel 215. I'm Dick Harrison with your Sports Minute. We have confirmed local podcasters Alex and Danny Gerb of the Quit Chasin Podcast are going live on Saturday, July 20th for the Phillies-Pirates game as they try to accomplish the 999 Challenge. Join us later so we can break down this challenge with questions such as, what are the rules? Who will be dropping in? Does anyone give a shit? Stay tuned for all these answers and more.
Alex, next Saturday, July 20th, live on YouTube. The Quit Chasin Podcast. I, the gubernatorial governor, is going to eat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dogs and jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 beers in 9 innings of baseball. Watch the Philadelphia Phillies take on those Rudy 2 Pittsburgh Pirates and join us live on YouTube for the Quit Chasin 999 Challenge.
The Quit Chasin Podcast is a proud part of the Old City Sports Network. Hop on over to the Old City Sports Network and check out some of our favorite shows. Flyers Alley, 2nd and 15, Check the Net, and stay tuned because Pub and Grub is going to be bringing some fantastic content your way. And if live entertainment is what you're after, we're here to make that a little easier for you. With our sponsor SeatGeek, you can get $20 off on your first order when you use the promo code Old City Sports Network. Don't forget the E at the end of old. No matter who you are or when it is, it never hurts to look your best. If you have a beard in need of some love, make sure to check out Warlord Beard Essentials. And while you're there, use promo code OLDSPORTS in all caps and get 15% off, and then free shipping on all orders over $65. Lastly, Danny, I highly recommend you check out Righteous Felon Jerky Cartel. Hop on over to the Righteous Felon Jerky Cartel website and use promo code OCSN, all lowercase, and get 15% off of your order, plus free shipping on orders over $50. It's going to be a long season. Treat yourself and get a big old bundle of meat to snack on. You're worth it.
What was that? Who was that?
That was amazing. That you said
the
you had a surprise.
Governor.
You said you had a surprise. I in 0 million years ever would have anticipated that being it. That was fantastic. That was phenomenal. Thank you. That as you, I'm sure, were watching me in the green room, I was busting a gut.
Yep.
Stage left. So nicely done. Nicely done, sir.
Thank you.
Holy
I
crap.
hope you enjoyed that.
I sure did. Oh man, that was good. But Danny, why don't you introduce what our fun segment of the evening is? I mean, it's always fun. Every little bit of Quit Chasin's fun, but this is a good one.
Hey, summertime and the living's easy, right? Bradley's on the microphone with Ross MC. I guess it would be an MC.
Me and Louise, we run to the rhythm. Run to the rhythm. It gets harder. You got older.
Dance to the rhythm, run to the party, dance to the rhythm.
I don't know, man. I've never gotten Bradley Noel lyrics right a day in my life.
Yeah, who has? I don't think he did either. So
no, correct. I've listened to Stand By My Van. You're right.
Alex and I are plowing our way to the 999 challenge. Get us to the All-Star break. We've got the summer senioritis, so we are giving you our top 5 summer albums.
Absolutely. We figured it was time to do a little bit of a not baseball break, but branch out a little bit and talk about some music, something both Danny and I are very passionate about. We are two very eclectic lads, but we wanted to talk about what our top 5 favorite summer albums are. Now, we did not discuss criteria or anything whatsoever. What made us think of what is a summer album? So, Danny, I'm curious, what went into a summer album thought process for you?
It's purely a vibe thing, right? Like call up Garrett Stubbs. Purely vibes.
I love
it. It's got a sound. It's a little more laid back. I tend to go like fall albums. We could do.
I'm a winter guy, actually. Like Postal Service, Give Up. I could do an entire hour on why that's the perfect winter album.
So I'm a little bit of a dinosaur, and I still use Pandora over Spotify. Yeah. It's true.
Okay. All right.
And one of the things is, I have a Honda. I drive a Honda.
Don't we all?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And whatever deal they have, they have the Honda Pandora links right up to the car. So I get it right on the dash. Right. Exactly. That's one of the reasons. Also, like I've cultivated playlists for years now that I don't want to give up.
They're really good, and Pandora has a good randomizer. I will say, I've always been impressed with their random function.
But yeah, so like winter and fall playlists are extraordinary. I struggle through summer and spring because I like to make one for every season. Every season has its mood. So
yes.
That's what it was for me. Why? Was there something for you that needs to talk about beer, needs to talk about sunshine or something?
No, see, that's the thing. So it was really hard because I could have easily put 5 Southern California like Long Beach Dub All-Stars, Pepper.
Yeah, right,
Revolution.
Exactly.
Like I could have just made 5 different ones of those, but like a lot of those bands, it's the entire discography
right there.
Dude, some really good with the Expendables. Bowl for 2, amazing. But like the for them, it's their entire discography, not one album. So that's why it actually kind of kept them off of it. For me, it was when I listen to this album, it takes me to summer, or I feel summertime when I'm listening to this album. Yeah. So without further ado, man, let's go for it.
Danny,
vibes as well. What you got for number 5?
My number 5 is a complete vibe, and it's low on the list, even though I'd love to have it a little higher. It's low on the list because it's 90% instrumental, and it is Time Cop 1983's Night Drive album. Just a fabulous summer evening back porcher.
Oh, okay. I mean, so you also grew up in the mountainside of Dauphin. And that is a back porch lifestyle. So what kind of genre I'm completely unfamiliar with that. So what kind of genre is
it is like a synth wave, dream synth. Like,
okay, I dig it.
Like
Dutch a Tame Impala.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's like the Airwolf theme song or Knight Rider, but on an album.
Love that, actually. That sounds delightful. That does. That sounds like a good time.
Or if you were playing some sort of like RPG video game.
A little Final Fantasy action. I gotcha. Which is funny, and that'll come back around, amazingly enough, in this conversation. Final
Interesting.
Fantasy is going to come back around. But so my number 5 album, and this is the fun pop band I feel like you're probably going to dig. And I'm going to put myself on a soapbox for a hot second, but it is Fountains of Wayne, Welcome Interstate Manager. Okay. This is the album that has Stacy's mom, Hackensack, Hey Julie, All Kinds of Time, Peace and Love. Like, it is such a quintessential. I'm driving for work, I'm getting things done, and I need to be in a happy, peppy, upbeat mood. I'm throwing this on. Like, this was for me right after college. I got deeply into Fountains of Wayne when I saw them live downtown. They played on the riverfront, and halfway through their set, the train downtown went by in the background, and they made the perfect time joke of like, well, now you guys see why we spent so much on our visual effects. It was amazing. But what I loved about that was my brother Tim yelled so many times for them to play Leave the Biker that they ended up playing Leave the Biker and acknowledged him for it. I thought, like, as a freshman in high school, I thought that was the most amazingly powerful moment in the universe. Like, he made them do that.
Yeah, that's always awesome when they do that.
Really cool.
Driven by Fountains of Wayne many, many times.
Really?
Yes.
I need to. Because did you know? So I don't know how deep you go with Fountains of Wayne. Did you know that they wrote That Thing You Do for the movie That Thing You Do? That band created that song.
I thought that was by the Oneaters.
Well, the Oneaters got it from Fountains of Wayne. They also wrote all the songs for My Super Ex-Girlfriend, and their main guy, Adam Schlesinger, actually died of COVID during like the heyday of the shutdowns and everything. So yeah, no more.
Yeah, I
Wayne.
did.
I know.
I remember reading that. That was awesome.
Yeah. So Fountains of Wayne, number 5, because it puts me in such a nice mood. What you got for number 4, Dano?
I went a little more mainstream, and I think this we alluded to this. I think this might be on your list.
Probably will be, because I'm sure it's what I'm thinking.
Is it Incubus Morning View?
It's not.
Oh, that was the one. I was
introduced to that in November. That's a winter album for me because of when I first obsessed with it. I know it should be. It should all of Incubus's catalog. Make Yourself, Morning View, Science, Fungus Among Us. They're all winter albums to me for some reason.
I just have this vivid memory of standing at the Tweeter Center at like 2:30 in the afternoon for when like Lollapalooza came through, and Brenda Boyd getting on stage, and it just starts with I see you lost in treading water, and it's just so ingrained. It's summer for me.
You know, I love that. And they do put on a great live show. That's a fair point. I love that. And that's a phenomenal album. Top to bottom, it is, I would argue, their peak. They peaked with Morning View.
Yes.
Okay.
We've had this conversation many times.
Commercially, they peaked. Maybe artistically, if not now, when, but we're getting really deep in Incubus conversation.
And it's also, I've always given credit. They bridged each album to the next album perfectly.
You're right. They set it up. They let you know where they were going, and they sprinkled it in. You're so 100% correct on that. Holy crap.
Right. Exactly. If there had to be an album in between Science and Morning View, you'd expect it to sound like Make Yourself, right? They knew exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Just like Light Grenades is the perfect bridge between A Crow Left of the Murder and If Not Now When. You're nailed it.
Yeah, I loved Light Grenades. I thought that was a little underrated. Yeah, that's a lot of people. A lot of people.
Know. And it has good songs. Like Dig is good, and Animali is solid, but I don't know. It's just
Animali is one of my favorite Incubus tunes.
Wow. We're gonna have a deep Incubus conversation because we've never actually broached the Incubus conversation yet. And I think there is a lot of fruit on that tree. But that's a great number 4. I gotta give you credit. That's a great number 4.
What do you got?
My number 4 is a bit of a cheat because it just came out this May.
Oh, okay.
But it has been on repeat. It is every time I need to be put into a summer vibe, a summer mood, I throw this on this year. It is Childish Gambino's latest album, At a Vista. Brand new this summer. It's absolutely amazing. First and foremost, I'm a huge Childish Gambino fan. I loved him in Community. Like, Donald Glover is hilarious. He's brilliant. He's great at what he does, but his music is really, really solid. I have his album Camp on vinyl. Like, big fan. This newest album is so multi-layered and so well executed and it puts you in such a chill SoCal vibe without being from SoCal. I love it to pieces. It's amazing.
So I have a couple of friends who are really into him. I don't know. I didn't get there.
I do recommend, if you have a chance, man, just go through the discography and see if you pull anything. I'm not the biggest fan of Redbone, but I'm not too much into soul music. But like I said, like Camp is really good. 3005 because of the internet. And then Ada Vista is out of this world. Ada Vista, out of this world. But yes, that's my number 4. Danny, what you got for number 3?
And I'm saying, Alex, please, Alex, just go. Drive, man.
No.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it saves the day through being cool.
Whoa. Okay. Tell me your history, because I am a humongous around the same time saves the day guy. So tell me your story of why this made your list. I love it.
You know, it is really that song, right?
I mean, they're all really good. Freakish, Nightingale, like
that was
As Your Ghost Takes Flight. Like
that was the next album.
Am I saying, oh shit, you're right. Stay What You Are. Band from the Back Porch. Hollyhocks Rocks Me Not. Okay, great album. But you're right.
I went through being cool.
One. Yeah. You're right. Shoulder to the wheel. My bad.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like, shoulder to the wheel. They're talking about driving around with the windows down, blasting Queen. There's references to buying lemonade on the boardwalk and shoving it down your face. Like, it is just a great album. It's a great album.
It's a great album. Honestly, like, Can't Slow Down was okay, but Through Being Cool and Stay What You Are phenomenal albums. In Reverie's okay. It starts to get, Chris Conley gets a little bit soft at that point, but that's a great pick, man. That is one that you throw in the CD player or in the disc rack and you let it go and you're like, yeah, I'm throwing the windows down and going 85 down 81.
You can drive to the beach with Through Being Cool on.
Yes. Well, you can because you live in Philly. I would need a couple more albums to get there from Harrisburg. That's okay. All right. So my number 3 album, this is 1000% vibes. I mentioned a lot of SoCal Long Beach dub bands, but I didn't mention this one because it was on the list. Slightly Stupid, Longest Barrel Ride. These are all quintessential songs like Babylon Is Falling, Fat Spliffs, This Joint, Righteous Man, and of course the title track. Or I'm sorry, not Longest Barrel Drive. Crap. I miswrote that on my agenda. Closer to the Sun. Closer to the Sun is an amazing, amazing feat. I want to say 2015 album. It is my favorite Slightly Stupid album by far. There was always a void after Bradley died in that kind of like ska, punk, pop, whatever. And there were a lot of potential bands, but for me, the one that always felt spiritually next was Slightly Stupid. And to me, this was their best summeriest album.
Yeah, I saw them open for someone. I forget who. It was fun. That Stormtrooper, is that them or Pepper?
That's Pepper.
Okay.
Pepper is really good. So it was between this and Pepper, Pink Crustaceans, Good Vibrations. That's a really good album. That's a really good album. What do you got for number 2? Because my number 2 is going to piss you off.
Yeah, maybe. We'll find out. The Crossing by Big Country.
I'm unfamiliar.
You know the song, and in a big country, we'll stay. Well, I don't know the words.
I do not.
Yeah, you do. Big Country.
I'm sure I do. All right.
In a Big Country by Big Country.
Seems repetitive.
Yeah, well. Their debut album, The Crossing, it starts off with In a Big Country. But like the rest of the album just goes like it's got the same sound as In a Big Country without all the radio success. But like Inwards Chance, Harvest Home, they're all good tunes. It is one of those albums that sounds like any 80s cheese like summer vacation movie that you hear like something in the background and you're like, what is that? While they're working on the cabin or trying to get the bat out of the cabin or whatever's going on, whatever Dan Aykroyd is grilling up.
It's John Cusack with Dan Aykroyd as the dad.
Sure. But like that's what the whole album sounds like.
I like it.
It's one of those ones you could put it on a barbecue. It blends in with the background. No one's gonna say anything, but they might be occasionally like, whatever this vibe is, I'm into it.
All right, I'm gonna check it out. I'm excited. I like new summertime music. That's one of the things I was hoping for with this.
Pissed me off, Alex.
All right.
80s band. They're an 80s band.
That I love an 80s band.
Okay.
All right. So my number 2. I don't know if it'll like piss you off or if you're just gonna roll your eyes so far into the back of your head you get a concussion. But it is the Hamilton soundtrack.
No, it doesn't piss me off. I'm glad you're keeping this going.
I absolutely am. So, as you know, last year was the year for the Phillies of Hamilton. It was, I'm not throwing away my shot until they threw away their shot. But, last year, my daughter's dance school, whatever, did one of the Hamilton songs, and it blew me away. It was so good. And the song, I just really loved it. And for whatever reason, like, here's the thing. Hamilton became such a cultural and like international phenomenon. I instantly hated it. And I was 100% staunchly against it because if that many people think it's cool, there's no way it's any good. So I never gave it the light of day. I never gave it a chance. My mom was telling me constantly, like, no, you have to give this thing a chance. It's going to change your life. It's the most amazing thing ever. I was like, absolutely not. We hear it. We watch it the first time. I'm like, okay, like that was really long. I don't really get it, but whatever. But no, then I watch it a second time and a third. And I'm at like 417 times now. And it is just an amazing, amazing album, amazing show. And it was the sound of my summer last year. So Hamilton soundtrack, you got July 4th, Memorial Day. It's chock full of patriotism. Let me get some Alexander Hamilton.
Hey, I'm glad you went with it, man. It's a strange pick. I wouldn't have picked it. Am I shocked that you picked it? No, I'm not.
No.
Lord.
Danny, out of curiosity,
yes.
Before we get to
why you got that broom in your hand?
What? Why do I have the broom?
Oh, yeah.
We just swept the Dodgers, Danny.
There you go.
We just swept the Dodgers in real time. So I wanted to bring old Broomy out. Let me tell you, when I brought this up to the studio, and it was like in the 6th inning, and I'm like, I better not be jinxing this shit. So glad the bit was worth it, folks. Glad the bit was worth it.
It was. They're back to their sweeping ways. We missed those.
I'll tell you what, we don't play well against big name teams, I guess. But anyways, were there any honorable mentions that didn't?
We didn't do. Oh, we're doing
before we get to number one.
Wow, that's some showbiz stuff.
Darn right. Now we're putting in the honorable mentions.
If we had another commercial to cut to, I would.
Okay. All right. No honorable mentions. Damn it! I should have prepped you. For that.
Yeah, I don't have any. I mean, they're all good, right?
You're right. I know. I don't know what's going on behind me right now.
It's fun.
I feel like I have to see what's going on. So give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, you got it. So I was gonna save the what is your deal with Hamilton and the connection to the Phillies for the 999 AMA? Which, by the way, Chasers, if you have a question that you would like to ask me and Alex, send it over to our Facebook Messenger, drop it in a comment, drop it on our YouTube page at whatever it is.
Quit Chasing. Usually it's Quit Chasin Pod is typically the handle.
Put it in a comment there. Like and subscribe while you're at it. We're going to answer those questions. We're going to do an AMA. Ask us anything. We've got storied histories between the two of us, and we would love to tell you about it.
We do. So you got to tune in, folks, because it's going to be a damn good time. But having said that, Danny, the wait is over. My children are quelled. What is your number one summertime album?
Maybe a cop-out, but it's wonderful, and a lot of people feel this way, and I'm also giving it recognition. It's Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys.
Well, that is a phenomenal choice. I wanted to hate it, but that is the quintessential summertime album.
Not really, though. So there's other Beach Boys albums. Like, this doesn't have like the Surfing USA on it. Like, this was like Brian Wilson trying his stuff and going crazy and writing this real introspective love album. So it's not quite the tell the teacher we're surfing. It's like God only knows, and
lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson said. Well,
just like Brian Wilson did.
Dude, I told you I don't know lyrics of anything of anyone ever. But that's a phenomenal choice. What
do you got?
My number
I
one.
know you had some honorable mentions. So do you want to get yours out?
No, I don't care enough. It's fine.
All right.
So my number one album, Sublime, self-titled. So this was the only album I listened to from like age 10 to 14. This got me into the Long Beach dub sound.
Yeah, I was a basic Jersey girl at one point too.
Well, okay, eat it. All right, man. Like, I don't care. Sublime was amazing, and it hit me at the exact correct time as a 10-year-old boy. I listened to it on repeat while I played Final Fantasy VII the summer of 1997. And it's just burned into my brain of good times, man. Good times. So Sublime,
self-titled, the one with like What I Got and Ballad of Johnny Butt and all that stuff.
All of that, yes. It could have been 40 ounce, but no, self-titled is the first real Sublime album I got into.
So I haven't given that album much credit in a long time. I went to a backyard little cookout with Buddy last summer. I think it was very few people. He put that on, and I was sitting there listening to it as they were grilling up dogs, and was like, you know what? This is better than I gave it credit for.
Bit of a slow burn. Sometimes it takes 2 decades.
I needed to not hear it for a while.
So Santeria, What I Got, all of the big radio tracks got so overplayed, and so many posers got into Sublime because of the certain type of culture.
I haven't heard anyone call anyone a poser in a very long time.
You haven't hung out in Central PA because it is Poser City. No, but a lot of posers, man. Like for a good 5 years, the Central Dolphin theme song was Santeria. Like it's just like, okay, guys, relax. We all had those shirts that we got from the Wildwood beach stores, the woven little hippie craps. Like, So Sublime had a following, and I think that dumbed down its perception a lot, and it made it really easy to not take them seriously. But nah, man, that's a great album. Final answer.
Love it. That was fun.
That was fun. But you know what, Danny? We're already at the 41-minute mark. So let's get into our media stables.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm gonna go first. So I've been listening to this podcast, The Rewatchables. It's a Bill Simmons podcast. It's fantastic. They watch old movies that are really like rewatchable and then talk about it in an academic and intelligent way. All right. They were recapping Beverly Hills Cop, and how many times in the movie people were just picking up random magazines and lobbies and waiting rooms, etc., and just flipping through it, and how that's just a culture that doesn't exist anymore. Magazine culture is no longer a real thing. And it's the weirdest things as you get older that make you nostalgic and that make you miss a simpler time and older time. Because like that immediately made me think of Sports Illustrated and the Sporting News and ESPN, the magazine, and how much I enjoyed when those things would come into the house and I'd be able to read them. And the first thing I do is flip to the back page and see what Rick Riley is talking about this week, or see what Bill Simmons is up to. And I miss that. And, even the online website, Sports Illustrated, they got in trouble because AI was writing a decent number of their articles. And it's like, what happened? What happened to that type of journalism? I enjoy physical print media. I know that this is my old man shouting in the clouds take, but like, I miss a newspaper that matters, that I can go get 5-7 days a week and find out what's going on. Like there's something nostalgic about that. And I don't know. It made me miss it. And that's my media stables. I miss print media.
I was the editor of my school's newspaper.
Were you really?
No, isn't that what Lemmy says? School's
Probably.
Magazine. I don't know what he says.
I don't know. Did McDonough even have a newspaper?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't remember it.
No. What's the Twin Towers? What was that? Was that just a thing?
I think that was the yearbook.
The yearbook was the Predwin.
It was the Predwin. Okay. I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah. Hail to the McDevitt high.
Failure, McDevitt marketing. Failure.
Yeah,
did not create a lasting impression.
No, but that's okay. Mine's simple. So the New Heights podcast, not the High Hopes podcast, Alex.
It's the same thing, I'm pretty sure.
I know you think that. The New Heights is they're taking a hiatus for summer, which means if you know anyone who listens to the New Heights podcast and they're looking for something to listen to, send them our way. Quit Chasing Podcast.
That's absolutely true. The New Heights podcast is the podcast of the Kelsey brothers, for those who are not aware.
Right. And we're equally as lovable. We have
great beards.
Nice banter. Yeah, exactly.
Great beards. The facial hair game is phenomenal.
It's like the same podcast. So, come on over and enjoy it. Enjoy ours. But what is also related to the High Host podcast is, I don't know if you heard about this. Jason Kelsey is dating this woman named Taylor Swift.
Oh, snowboarder.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for
All right.
the U.S.
Yeah.
national team. She's a U.S. national team snowboarder.
Oh, I thought she
Think
was
about-
pro for the Colorado Wisps. Go ahead.
Well, she's global at it. So there's a lot going on with her. This is a little old. This is maybe a week and a half old at this point. But like Dave Grohl made some comments on his tour where he said, yes, this is the Errors tour because we actually play our music. Yeah.
Whoa, Dave Grohl took a swipe at T Sizzle?
Yes, he did, which is
Dave Grohl took a swipe at anyone?
Yeah, which is so weird. And like part of
Out
that
of character.
and like the Swifties went after him like
Of
they
course
should.
they do.
And one of the reasons the Swifties went after him, well, hear me out. One of the
All right.
reasons the Swifties went after him was he was at a party at Paul McCartney's house and a little tipsy. And Paul McCartney was like, hey, play, I think it was Everlong. And
Okay.
he could not get to it. Taylor Swift at the same party walks up to the piano, starts playing and singing Everlong, and bails Dave Grohl out. And he's told this story about how much he has bailed him out.
Bails
that
him
point.
out?
Bailed him
or
out of
upstages him.
well, no, bailed him out because then they were singing it together, and having good fun, and the party continued, and everybody was happy. And now he's got the story to tell, and then takes a shot at her not playing when he walked up out of the blue, started playing his song for him. So they took a little heat at that. A lot of people are taking I've been seeing a lot of shots from old men rockers who are selling out stadiums in their own business. Listen, it's not rock and roll to make fun of Taylor Swift. It's not punk rock to make fun of her. She is a global icon. Dave, you've got nothing to fear. Whatever male fragility you have, you're selling out the same cities that she is. One night, she's doing it 3, but you're selling out those same cities all over the globe. There's no reason to. It's strange. Listen, you don't want to like her music, not a pop fan, that's fine. But to not give her the credit of she's going out there doing 3+ hour shows 3 nights in a row globally, it's just silly. It's just silly.
I think, wow, you are really coming hard for the anti-Taylor Swift community, and I respect that. I do. I think
It's
someone
just
needs
silly.
to, because no one
Like,
else
you
is
can-
gonna.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot appreciate her tunes. That's fine. But you can't not appreciate what she's doing.
So, okay. All right. So Chasers, I'm sorry that we're about to do this, but you and I have talked about this and danced around it, but the fact is the fact. I see Taylor Swift the same way I see the Beatles. Okay. I see that, like, I understand the cultural impact. I appreciate what they did for music as a whole, its popularity, the directions it went in, the influences that it had. It is not my flavor. I feel the same way with Taylor Swift. It's not my flavor. Like, there's a really good album called Reputation. I'm a big fan of that one. The rest of it, it just doesn't speak to me. It's not my type. That doesn't mean it's not good. That doesn't mean it's not worthy of being praised. It just doesn't work for me. My biggest issue, and part of what the problem I have with this story, is the toxicity of her fan base and the toxicity of all rabid fan bases, whether it be Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Game of Thrones, Star Wars. The toxicity and the absolute drag them down and beat them culture of these fan bases, that's my issue with it. And I don't really like. I have an issue with those folks that do then come in and just glom on you, and they'll cancel you. I hate being anti-cancel, because for a lot of cancel's okay, but they will just because you disagreed with them, and I don't love the veracity of which they attack it.
Yes. I don't think these people are attacking her based on her fan base.
I think that's fair. I think that they are threatened for whatever reason. I mean, she's extremely talented and successful. I can understand why they would be threatened. Or you could just come to peace with, like, some people are just going to do some things better. Like, I could never write a song as well as Taylor Swift. I know that, but that's okay. That's not what what I'm here to do. But I don't know.
And that's okay. And guess what,
that's okay.
Alex? We bring it back to baseball.
We do, and it's funny because we're already a little bit amped up, and I was proud of where that conversation went. But amped up, Danny, you alluded to this one for me, so why don't you tell the folks what we're amped up about tonight?
Yeah, so for all those people that lament Sunday night broadcast, let me introduce you to Wednesday night, night baseball. Right,
the worst.
That was brutal. There was absolutely brutal. Where do you want to start with it?
So, folks, Wednesday Night Baseball this week was presented by ESPN. So instead of getting Kruk and T-Mac, or even T-Mac and Ruben, or my God, even T-Mac and Schmidt, we got Carl Ravitch and some dumb moron up in the booth that were Chuckles McClown Clown. Okay, up in the booth with Carl, and I don't understand how to explain the level of disdain that it seems all national broadcasts have for the Phillies, and like how I don't know if it's just me or if it's a real thing, but they constantly seem to be trying to poke holes in our hope and trying to devalue our success to us.
Well, Joe Buck claims that every city he went into, he would always get asked why he doesn't like their team. I think that is part of how people hear it. Listen, we're not hearing the Homer broadcast of T-Mac and Kruk, but it's beyond that. So just so everyone knows, this is Alex and I. We tag team this amped up.
We sure are.
That's how amped up we are about how bad this broadcast was.
But it was that bad.
Yeah, there was so much to it. So one of the issues I had was, how is OPS in front of a batting average?
It took me a good 6 batters to realize like why I couldn't find batting out. And like, life happens. So I only get a couple of glances every now and then. So when I get like, why the hell are you putting OPS in front of batting average? Are you trying to start a thing? Because it's not going to take on. It's just not.
Yeah. Why the win probability meter? I know you have issues with these, and I before would just listen to you rant and be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Watching it in real time is maddening. Why is this thing up in the 4th and changing so violently after every, at bat or person on base? Like, as far as I'm concerned, up into the 7th, the win probability meter is still right in the freaking middle, right? Especially when it is a 2-run game. This thing is violently swinging left and right. It was a
2-run game in the 3rd inning, and they said we had an 82% chance of winning. I'm like, that's absolute horseshit, because then 2 innings later, it was 2-2, and we had a 50-50 chance of winning. And I am convinced that the only thing a win probability meter is good for is so that diehard baseball fans' loved ones can know how close they are to a heart attack. Like, if you look at a win probability meter, that tells you exactly what's going on with our heart. If it's a low number, we're probably getting close to that. If it's a high number, we're smooth sailing. You're good to keep your shift going. But no, the win probability meter, it's unnecessary. There are so many better statistics you could put up there that I would care about.
Or you want to pop it on in the 8th? I'd be fine with that. But watching it violently swing in the 3rd is ridiculous. So that's some of the graphic stuff. But the production value of we were texting about it all night.
So I'm going to hop in line because mine is so much. That was rude of me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I mean, we're both very passionate and amped up about it.
You're right.
So all yours, buddy.
Damn it. All right. So I was watching on the laptop instead because it was on ESPN, and I've watched every single type of broadcast on the laptop. NBC Sports, Fox, ESPN, Apple, Paramount Plus maybe had one, HBO, whatever. They've all had one. And this was the only time. Not true. Sometimes Fox Sports is pretty shitty, but in the longest time, this is one of the first times that the broadcast kept screwing up. It was, full screen. Everything was fine, hooked into the TV, and it just kept on bopping out. And when it would bop out and come back, it would come back muted. So I had to get up off the couch and go over, unmute it, maximize it at least once every 4 outs. This happened. And this is 2024. This is a web browser broadcast of ESPN, the quote unquote leader in sports, the guys that started all of it. They should be the torchbearers. They're owned by Disney, for God's sakes. And they are putting out the worst product. What are we doing? I don't get it.
Yeah. And so even even with the production value, they have the crowd so mic'd up. And I figured it out. We were texting back and forth throughout the game. And I didn't text this to you because I was going to save it for this. I kind of figured out what's going on.
Talk to me.
Where T-Mac and Kruk and the NBC Philly Sports, the way they broadcast it is you have your crowd noise, and T-Mac, the booth is very up front, like pop vocals. They're putting the pop vocals up front. The way ESPN did it, they had the crowd up, and they had the booth buried in the crowd mix, like rock vocals. And so you're getting a lot of the crowd noise that they're talking over. So it's making the momentum or the situation feel bigger than it actually is. They're calling it like a October playoff, game 5, October playoff game. And it's, Wednesday in July. And I had playoff agita for that game, and there was no reason I should have. And
okay, so all right then. You know what? I'm going to challenge you. I want to challenge you. Please.
Yes.
We are constantly saying that baseball needs to do a better job of marketing itself, of making itself matter, of making itself exciting. Isn't there something to be said for presenting the game with exciting commentary, even if it is a dog day of July? When you said that to me yesterday,
were they doing that?
Weren't they?
They were adding suspense, sure. Were they giving you any sort of thrilling commentary?
No, because here's the thing: national broadcast, and I'm convinced now.
The joke they said was, "It's so hot outside. I saw a dog chasing a cat. They were walking." That consumed 2 minutes of the broadcast. At least when Kruk's talking about whatever's in his refrigerator, it's entertaining.
Well, there is that. There's that. But we've also now heard and seen Kruk on a national broadcast, and it's not the same. Like, maybe there is just something to the but then again, I watched Pirates baseball for a year when I was living out in Pittsburgh, and their announcers made me want to go to sleep and sign up for counseling services. Like that was not an enjoyable experience at all. So
no, I didn't like it.
A good team is a good team.
Sure.
But
I mean, you got anything else with that?
No, we did talk about how Wednesday interview on the field games are that much worse than Sunday.
Yeah,
like, are you kidding me? On a random Wednesday in July, when we have 2 division leaders that are theoretically fighting for the first round bye, you're going to waste an inning by having the center fielder like mic'd up like that. And hey, it wasn't our guy; it was the Dodgers guy, thank God. But still, I'm still against it. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for the sport. And I'm a pretty progressive guy when it comes to a lot of this stuff. But I like universal DH. I like the pitch clock and all that, but I do not like mic'd up on the field mid-game. I hate that.
Yeah, and they're not doing it just for Sunday Night Baseball anymore.
No,
who knew?
They're not. I hate it. You know what though, Danny?
Speaking of which,
there's more stuff for us to love and hate. So love and hate it. You gave me this idea and I liked it and I saw them and I'm curious to know where you stand with this. So Danny, love it or hate it, 2024 All-Star jerseys.
So when I pitched you that idea, I meant it more in them actually wearing a singular All-Star jersey, or did you like the concept of when they still all wore their team jerseys? That's how I meant it.
I thought we could just talk about the current state of All-Star jerseys. Do we love or hate the fact that they're wearing a consistent uniform color, or do we hate it and we wish that they still wore their own jerseys? So that's
how I meant it when I pushed. Okay. Yes.
Cool. So love it or hate it, the current state of All-Star jerseys. I'm going to let you go first because I don't know where you stand.
I love it.
Okay. Talk to me.
I love it. This is the way I look at it. I like the fact that this is a special thing. These are your all-star players. These have been deemed the all-stars for the all-star game. They're going to come in on the field. They're all going to line up together, and they're wearing now that color, that jersey that said, I was selected out. I like that. Also, I think, go back and watch old all-star games with the lineups where they're all wearing their own team's jerseys. It looks so Little League. I know everyone's
stupid.
I like to see a Phillies jersey beside a Pirates jersey. Why? The players are there. It's
just
so
wait
dumb.
until next weekend when we get a single.
Yeah,
there you
like
go.
Why do you like that so much? Like it looks so little league. These guys are they were picked out of a crop. They're the special crop of players. It's their all-star game. They get to wear a different jersey.
I love it. I'm a fan of it. It's like the Team USA jersey. Like I like the opportunity to buy a new jersey, which I won't because I'm not gonna. But like I do like a good all-star jersey. I don't think they're bad. I think it makes a lot more sense
either
for them to be a consistent hue. My only gripe and my only request, I guess, would be wear the same jersey, but maybe have everyone still wear their hat. I might like that. I think that could be cool. That could be done well. If everyone still wore their home hat and then the traditional, concise, symmetrical jersey.
Don't they wear their logo? It's still
the logo, but it's the colors of the jersey, and I'd be down with like the Phillies red and then that blue and grayish jersey. Like I'd be fine with that, or seeing an Orioles with that, like whatever. I don't know. I think that'd be nice. I think that's a nice compromise in between the two. But I love that they are doing the consistent jersey.
Yeah, so do I.
And I hated the old version. So
yeah,
there you go.
I'm glad you're on board with me.
Absolutely. Folks, we did it. We finished the episode in under an hour and 15 minutes. So look at that. We got a little bit long this week, but you know what, guys? This is our last week of fun because next week we're going to do like a quick little teaser episode to just kind of go over a week that was and then get out because we have the 999 challenge next Saturday, July 20th. Coming at you hot, coming at you bloated, coming at you steamy. Folks, coming at you from Harrisburg. Well, Steelton. Danny and I are going to be coming live through YouTube. I don't know how you're going to find us, but you're going to find us because you love us and you care. And that's why I love you. And that's why I care about you.
Yeah, we're going to drop the link on our social.
Yeah, once we figure all that jazz out, we're going to get it to you in every way that we know how. So all three of them, we're going to get it out for you. If you're not
on
able
the internet
to
around start time, and you will see it.
If you're not able to join us live, don't worry. We're still going to provide the show to you. We're going to cut it up into 9 chapters of one episode and distribute it. We're going to have some guests coming up. We will announce them on next week's little teaser episode. Fingers crossed. Absolutely. Which is why I'm not doing it yet, because I just want to make, I really want to make sure we hard confirm these guests before I put them out there. So join us. You're going to have fun. Again, if you want to ask us anything, if you want to know, Danny, what the hell is that image behind you? I don't get it. Alex, what's up with your decor? Did you what? Reach out to us. Gmail, quitchasinpodcast@gmail.com. Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. That's right, folks. We have an Instagram now at Quit Chasin Pod. And find a way to interact with us. We are dying for attention, folks. Dying for it. Danny, who's our band tonight?
Yeah, we have Katie Joe and the Knobs, and we're going to play the song Mouth Breather off the album Mouth Breather. You can go to katiejoeknob.bandcamp.com. That's KNAUB.
Darn right.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, everyone, thanks for listening. We'll do better next week, I promise. Well, maybe not. We might be a little tipsy next week. We'll find out. We'll find out. But everyone knows man can't move a rubber tree plant.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.